Kareem.
Hey, Mike. I wanted to ask a little bit about the defense. They shot a pretty high percentage there, and then Kelsey got going in that second half. Is that just facing a hot team, or did you guys need to do something a little different?
I mean, that's a question that's not really an easy answer. I mean, do what different? I mean, Kelsey Plum got hot, but we didn't do a good job on her. But I don't know, other than find somebody else to guard her. She made shots against three different people. I thought she was the difference in the game. She was great for them. We did a reasonable job on their other players, but they shot a great percentage. I mean, they made shots. We don't have the size to match up with them right now. And I thought, again, in the second half, they're switching all the things we worked on the last 2 days. Still, we didn't solve it. We're not as good as them right now. We're playing 2 to 3 quarters of good basketball, but their experience and their size and their making shots. I mean, when you get 34 points from their bench and we have 10, that's a tough, thing. I mean, there's no simple answer right now.
And
it's why they're tied for first.
Yeah, they're a good team. I was going to ask also a little bit about the offense. You guys, the big three, the three is obviously a huge part of your game. Wasn't falling tonight. Did you like the looks that you guys were getting?
A few. I didn't like some of them. I thought we forced some, particularly early. I mean, we were bad shooting the ball. Tina made 3 and Ariel made 2, and that was it.
And just a quickie, I know Maisha was on the minutes restriction, but I'm just curious, how was that ankle? Was that bothering her, or was she fine?
I think she was a little bit sore. It was kind of a very strange play. In fact, when she first went down, she acted like her shoe was coming off and she had to tie it. And finally, she said, no, I need, timeout. Well, okay. Nobody could tell when she went down.
Yeah, that's what it looked like on TV also.
Yeah, I mean, she was good enough to come back in. We just, used up her minutes. In fact, it was funny. I was trying to save some minutes for her at the end. We had a sub at the scores table, and the game never stopped for 2.5 minutes. So she got too close to her limit, without even us trying to.
That's all from me. Appreciate you.
Yep.
Jen.
Hey, Coach. Just wanted to ask about Tina. Obviously another 30-point outing for her, 17 in the second quarter. What do you think was working particularly well for her in that quarter? And, how did the game kind of evolve with her scoring, throughout?
Well, they did the same thing they did the other day. They, played her pretty much straight up in the first half and doubled her in the second half and made her pass the ball. We missed some opportunities to get her the ball. And I think, we weren't patient enough to try to get it there sometimes, including, her. I mean, we ended up running a lot of pick and rolls where I thought we could have got some post ups for her, but they upped their defensive pressure like they've done, and we have to get better at reacting to teams adjusting in the second half. They do it intentionally. We know they do, and so that's a big thing that we got to get better at.
Thanks, Coach.
Rafiq.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, what really turned the tide for the Las Vegas Aces was the fact that when you had like an 8-point lead, they actually went on like a 10-0 run or something similar to that. Like, what was going through your mind when you saw it happen, especially with Lace Cambridge taking over on the offensive end?
Well, I called timeout in the middle of it and tried to make an adjustment. But I thought our offense was bad. I think our bad offense led to their defense. I called the timeout because we were standing on the perimeter. We didn't attack the basket. We settled for long jump shots. Didn't get any post-ups or any drives at the basket. and we took long jump shots. They rebounded, came down, ran it down our throat.
Thank you for your time.
Yep.
That's it, Coach. Thank you.
Hey, Tina, another tough one. From your perspective, what's going on with these second half swings?
Exactly. trying to figure it out. Just need to be more locked in, need to be more engaged. We got to want it more. It's not like we don't have the pieces to do it or the people who can do it. I don't even know what to say. It's very it's disappointing at this point, a little bit. You know, first half we look like championship team, and then second half I'm not really sure. So, but we just got to regroup and see about it.
Was that, you know, I think they shot 57% and then Kelsey got hot. Is that just a hot team or
They got all they players. You know, that team, they've been together for a long time. I mean, I played for Bill for 3-4 years. He's gonna run his system the way he does. Everyone knows their role. Pretty sure there's a lot of accountability. You know, they have depth on their bench. You know, Kelsey Plum is a gold medalist. You know, she's someone who likes to go. They now have Kia Stokes, who's another big that comes in for Cam Bays and Hamby. So, you know, they have depth. They have an overall good team. You know, it's like a wave. You're just gonna keep getting hit, and that's why we need to be more prepared and more locked in.
and just I'm just curious, how's the feel in the locker room? I'm sure it's frustration, but can you guys put this in the back burner pretty quickly because you got a quick turnaround coming up?
Yeah, that's exactly what said. You know, exactly what she said. She said that we have 2 days to get back to Phoenix, and that's the most important game, as Ariel Thibault has said. The most important game right now on this trip is getting to is that game versus Phoenix. You know, they're right close to us in the standings, so we just gotta get this bad taste out of our mouth and then try to get this one.
Cool. Appreciate you.
Yep.
Tyler.
Hey, Tina, is there anything you're seeing out there on the court with you guys I mean, if you take away your 2 worst quarters, you beat the Aces by 14, but being able to play consistently through both games, is there anything you're seeing that could be leading to this issue?
Sorry, there's like something that was passing by. Sorry, can you say that again?
It's okay. Is there anything that you're seeing within the team that is causing an issue for you guys to not be able to have the consistency for an entire 4 quarters?
Well, I think fatigue is playing a factor. You know, one of the things is fatigue and knowing that we have to be mentally tough and you know, get through it. You know, there's certain players that's playing a lot of minutes. We still have to stay engaged. You know, so that's one of the main things that's jumping out at me. And we have to know how to keep our lead. I think we were up 7 or 8 going into the 3rd quarter, and just like that, they just were the aggressors and they attacked us. But I think that's something that maybe all teams in WNBA know. You know, that, hey, we can get them back. You know, we could get them back. And that's something that we have to change that identity.
And then for the fatigue, is that physical and mental, or?
I mean, I'm just probably physical. You know, people playing a lot of minutes. I'm not going to say mental. I'm not going to do that to my guys.
Okay. Thank you.
Rafiq.
Yeah, with this loss, you guys are falling out of the top 8. What is the mindset going into the next game against Phoenix, as you're 2 games behind them and literally a game behind the final spot in the playoffs?
Like I said, it's the most important game on this trip. You know, we just have to have a sense of urgency, and we just have to go out there and compete at the highest level that we can. You know, it's the most important game on this trip. So that's just what our focus is.
Jen.
Hey, Tina, I remember you saying, you know, a couple of weeks ago that you were looking forward to getting reinforcements after the break and you not having to take 20 shots a game. And you're still taking a bunch of shots, so maybe not quite there yet. But Ariel has upped her field goal attempts last game and this game from what, you know, pretty considerably. She was averaging like 12 entering the break, and she took 20 shots and I think 18 tonight. So how welcome is that? And do you feel that difference, or are you still, you know, trying to get your own shots maybe down a little bit and more spread out?
I'm just trying to take what comes to me. I'm just trying to make a right play. You know, I'm not in my head saying like, oh, I don't want to take it. Like, that's not what's in my mind. You know, if I'm feeling it, take the shot. You know, I just want to make the right play. That's what's of importance for me right now, just due to the look of our team. I know I'm a person that Coach T is looking to. So I'm just trying to be aggressive and just trying to make the right play. That's what's important for me.
Had you noticed that it felt like Ariel was taking more shots or hunting her shot more, or did the numbers that I kind of just rattled at you surprise you?
I think she's just being aggressive and taking what the defense gives her. I think she knows that she's one of the top players to look to and go to, and I think that's what she's trying to do right now. And so I'm the coach is not saying anything to her. We're not saying anything to her. We believe and have confidence in her and her maturation into the player that she is.
Great, thank you.
Last question to Christy.
Hey, Tina, I know you just said that you're not going to do that to your guys in terms of saying there's any kind of a mental situation going on in terms of fatigue, but what conversations have you had with the team after the last couple of games there? What kind of encouraging words and leadership have you provided to them that way?
Just trying to say that we need to be disciplined. I haven't been on a WNBA championship team, but I've been on gold medals. I've been on NCAA champion. I've been in big stages, Eastern Conference Finals, and the teams that make it through and that win are the most disciplined team. A bunch of the guys were saying that they were surprised that Connecticut lost the game because in that Commissioner's Cup, because they had 2 weeks off, and Seattle, their 3 main guys came in, but they're just a disciplined team. Those guys can be away from each other for 5 months, and I know coming collectively together, they're going to know what they're doing because they're all on a string. The 2019 team here in Washington, very disciplined team. They've been together for 3 years. They knew what they wanted to get. They know the players to go to, and very disciplined. So that's one of the main things that I'm trying to preach to these guys, is that we have to be disciplined. That's the main thing. And we're not consistently disciplined out there. We're consistently disciplined when things are going great. And then when things start to break down, we have been better at staying together and staying in huddles together, but we just have to be disciplined. And those are the teams that make it all the way. Chemistry and discipline.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you, Tina. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Hey, Ariel. Just want to ask from your perspective, another tough second half. Just from your perspective, what is the biggest difference? You guys are playing so well in the first, and it just seems to be such a struggle in the second.
If I knew the answer, able to fix it. But as you guys can probably see, we look like a championship team in the first half, and then coming out in the second half, we just don't have the same energy or grit to us. So that's something that we have to figure out. I don't think that's something that our coaches can help us with. I think that's on us.
Tina was just talking a minute ago, said, you guys need to be more disciplined, just kind of overall, said that's kind of, you guys are very disciplined when things are going well, but then when a little bit adversity hits, then you guys kind of struggle and get out of some things at that point. Is that something, how do you improve that? How is that, that seems like something that would be a little bit tough to kind of adjust to on the fly. I'm just curious, how it's one thing to kind of work on sets or something like that, but how do you work on discipline?
I mean, you have to if you want to win. You don't really get the opportunity to just be like, oh, we'll fix it next game. Oh, we'll fix it next game. Oh, we'll fix it next game. Before you know it, season's over and you don't have a playoff spot. So it's really important that we try to figure out what that means for us, because it can mean different things for everybody, in the sense that, to me, discipline is your ability to focus when things are just not as clear, when things are kind of like staticky, and there's small habits that you consistently build over time. And I think right now our habits aren't amazing, and so it's kind of biting us in the butt.
And just one last one for me. I'm just curious, what's the vibe in the locker room right now? I mean, I know, this is a really good team, so there's not a whole lot of shame in losing to, one of the best teams in the league, but at the same time, I'm sure it's a little bit frustrating, the manner. So I'm just curious, what's the vibe around everybody right now?
They're a good team, but they're a beautiful team, as is every team in this league. So if we show up every night in the way that we know how for 40 minutes, we look different. And then the conversation becomes, we're one of the best teams in the league. And I feel like right now the narrative is, man, the Mystics, they're good, or they can be good, but something's just missing. And that's on us to figure out. And so to me, that's our vibe right now, is it's on us to figure out what it is that's missing. And a lot of times I don't think that's going to come through talk. I think that's just going to come through action.
Appreciate you.
Yep.
Jen.
Hey, Ariel. On the positive side, looking at the box score, 9 steals to 8 turnovers for you guys. So just curious, what your approach was coming in defensively, and how you were able to kind of, increase that pressure, or just turn them over a little bit more.
Yeah, just make them uncomfortable. I mean, the reason they're the number 2 team in the league right now is because they do what they do well and they don't go outside of that. They know what they want to get and they focus on that. So as a defender, you just want to make them as uncomfortable as possible and try to take away their first option. And that was our focus tonight.
And then I got to ask you about you and Tina, because you guys combined for 54 points. What did you think was working for you offensively? And what did you see from Tina, particularly in that second quarter when she had 17 points?
Yeah, it's no different from Tina. Tina just picked up where she left off, honestly. And especially matchups like this, she likes, I feel like, because it gets her excited to play, playing against one of her former coaches that she looks up to and different things like that. But she enjoys playing this game, and she gets excited when she gets to play against other good big men. I personally think that's not verbatim out of her mouth. That's just my own thoughts. And then me personally, just trying to be aggressive. That's my biggest thing right now is how do I help my team win games? And I think our team looks different when I'm more aggressive from the jump versus being passive with the ball.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
Rafiq?
Yeah, you guys have kind of been in a free fall since you started out the second half, like within the top 8. Now you're kind of like outside the top 8 with the loss of the Dallas Wings win against Chicago Sky. And now you got the Phoenix Mercury. You were 2 games behind in the standings. Like, what is this free fall got you thinking about going to the next game?
We don't need to be worried about nothing else but winning games. Like, that's the only thing we can control is how we play and what we do. Like, I don't want to be sitting up on the last day of the season hoping somebody loses for us to get in the playoffs. Like, I don't like that. I'm not used to that. So we need to focus on us and worry about what we can do for ourselves.
Thank you for your time.
That's it, Ariel. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.